Okay. Let's try F5ing my browser. And there we go. We appear to be back up. There's an N7. Where is tweet I just sent? Oh great, caps lock is on. Tweet, just to get that out there. Hi, small human. He's busy. What was I doing? Okay, I did save the game when the thing popped out. Yeah, so obviously my internet's not 100%. It has more or less acted perfectly fine since last week. It crapped out on us once last night. And it hasn't given me any other problems. Now I did get a chat conversation. Crap! I thought I could get up there.
Did have mines into Winter. I bet they are.
About anything in particular?
The Inquisition. I mean, you people believe weird stuff, right? About Andraste.
Most of the Imperial Chantry's teachings are the same as in the South, despite some finicky bits about magic.
The parts where you're wrong.
Yes, quite. The parts where we're wrong.
Dang it. Really? Really? See if I can find my button. Wait, somebody got me up. Okay, this is not good. How many hit points is that thing made of? Hey, Dorian, maybe stop shooting the ground? Come over here, find Iron Bull. Have a little bit of panic, why don't you? Ow! God damn it. Well, good. At least he went over the edge and hurt himself. Now, I don't have a backstory with a half-orc barbarian yet, other than found, orphan, raised by a clan of human barbarians kind of thing. 100 fathers, 100 mothers, adopted by the whole clan. Right, so, whoa! Talk about some rubber band. So I haven't really thought about that one either. In part, I want to see how the party's shaping up. Because if we don't have any fleshy plugs... Sorry. If we don't have any meat shields... then I probably ought to go barbarian just so we can have a meat shield. If we do have a meat shield... then I may go ahead and go druid just because I feel like it. I think in other words I'm kind of favoring druid, but I'm such a team player, and because I want to experience everything, I'm a little agnostic on what I will actually play. Now, the only thing I can say for sure is wife wants to be an arcane trickster. Because that's different for her. That's a stretch for her, and it could be a lot of fun. And the guy who's been playing the sorcerer, the wild magic sorcerer, the wild magic tiefling sorcerer, the old DM's husband, is going to play a life domain cleric. See, the thing is, I like to take credit for this. I showed everybody how badass clerics are 5e when I was playing my Tempest cleric. Now, if I had been able to get above 5th level, I mean, Jesus. There's a path right there. You see that? I'm going back here because A, path, B, potions. So he's going to be a life domain cleric. That ought to be cool. The healing is taken care of. I don't have to worry about taking a healing class. You know, and I'm not saying that healers have to. There always have to be healers. I'm not saying that at all. But it's helpful if you have somebody that can do a little bit. But now I don't have to worry about it because that little bit's covered. Where in the hell? My potion table. It'll be down there. What about up here? Not there. There we go. Yeesh. Yeah, because it seems to me I had some really nasty fights. He doesn't end up using that Lyrian potion that often. I have talked to the former DM, and she had mentioned wanting to experience a 5e monk. See, she played a monk in our 3.5e game. So the next best ass kicker that we had in the party after my samurai. Mark the path. Maybe up there. And she has, see, she and her husband also play kind of a family game with some siblings or something like that. They have that going for them, and apparently the husband is playing a monk there, so she's getting a feel for how much ass the monks can kick in 5e. Yeah, that's it. But when I asked her just last night on our little Discord channel what she was favoring, I don't know. And I said, how about now? Because I'm a jerkwad. So, I mean, what she decides to do kind of will help me make up my mind what I should do. Got like more or less half a character formed mentally. All I gotta do is finish making the character. And speaking of making characters, we're gonna do that this Friday. I don't know, the time is going by so weird. I was just now thinking, okay, that's only like a day or two from now.
The ancient Imperium did like to leave a mark. I wonder how long they stayed.
Is this where Kenrick's assistant was headed?
Oh, there's somebody that needs killing. But no, it's only Monday. Switching gears, I am making a little bit of progress on my PE license. I ordered a couple of things online to help me out. When you take the exam, they are very specific.
You're not going to start that Kyun rubbish where you're trying to convert me, are you?
No.
What's so funny about that?
You aren't really Vidathari material.
What's that mean? I could be a Vivi, one of those things. Bloody good one, too.
But one of the things about the exam is they are extremely specific on what calculators you can use. This is one of them. This is another one of them. I just bought 2 brand new calculators because the one I had that I took on that I used for the FE exam, which I still have, stopped working a couple of months ago. And if I take 2, then I don't have to worry about calculator breaking mid-exam and not having a calculator, because you ain't doing shit in an engineering exam. Really? Explode in a second. Reminds me, though, I do need to get my hotel reservations. Yeah, I think I get what you're saying. I also bought... Yeah, I'm tired of using little cheap-ass pencils, so I bought myself a good pencil. This is... Basically, it's a drafting quality pencil. It's all metal. I usually use, secondary erasers anyway, so I'm not too worried about that much eraser on this. And this is a Graph Gear 1000 in the 0.7 millimeter size. Oh, I can turn this little window to indicate what kind of lead it's got. Okay. I just discovered that. It's on HB now. Is this what I've got? I have been working a little bit at work. On my SER. That's Sierra Echo Romeo. It's my supplemental experience report. Basically what I have to do is detail what I have done in my engagements, i.e. engineering jobs, since I graduated. I'm supposed to cover the entire time since I've graduated. Yeah, see, I can't do 0.5. My writing pressure is too high, I just break the leads. But the thing is, they have a very specific form, and it's got this common information. It's a header that's like this big on a page, so you really only have about half the page you can write in, and you need to do a complete one of these pages for every page of the SER, and they would like it to be no longer than 12 pages. So I'm essentially having to document why I can say I'm good enough to be an engineer in these little half pages, even though I've never been a designer, and that's kind of typical engineering stuff, but they consider analysis to be just as good. And I'm also going to have the pages of my SERs countersigned by a professional engineer who either saw the work that I was doing, or was like a mentor, or can actually comment on. Okay, that seemed to be a glitch, like there was a brief outage there. So it has to be signed by a professional engineer who at least can comment on whether they agree that what I have in my SERs is good enough, even if they didn't see it personally. Now, the good news is that for the last workplace, there was a guy who was a PE the whole time I was there, and two guys who got their PEs while I was there. Well, see, I don't need Henshi 2. That's kind of where I'm going with. I need three people to sign. I know 3 from the last job. My current job, there's my supervisor could sign because he's a PE. My former supervisor, if I texted him and said, "Hey, would you sign this for me?" he'd probably do it. He was a PE. I've got 2 PPES engineers who do work for me that have taught me some things that could and probably will sign for me. So it'd be really easy for me to get 7 people's signatures. I need 3. So plus I have to get them to write letters of recommendation. Well, even that's a misnomer. It's not really a letter. It's a form they have to fill out. I can do those things. I have to do a background check.
You may want to see this.
But I gave them my fingerprints for that 2 years ago. I don't know if they'll want me to do it again, which is no big deal if they do. And I'll still also have to take the ethics exam, which I can do online. So I'm making good progress for finally. It's possible I will actually be a PE by the end of the year. That would be incredible. Okay, let me talk to Colette.
Inquisitor, I was going to send word. I found something. This inscription, almost completely faded, but 2 stood. Felt 60 true before our triumph. A breath in the hunt, and let rest the lowlanders, worthy of the lady's care.
So they
The
killed him.
markings and surrounding artifacts date to American's time. The references and scripts suggest Avar.
So the Avar killed the last Inquisitor.
What's your theory?
I need to complete a full survey and have Professor Kenrick evaluate the site himself. But this may be a tribute to Heron and Orina, Inquisitor Emeriden's companions.
What makes you think the inscription refers to Heron and Dorina?
It's only a theory, but the age of the markings and surrounding artifacts match the timeline we've established for Emeriden. I found glass fragments in the clay, several with slight veins of discoloration. Blue. Like Templar artifacts.
Templars?
The Templars were a new order in Emeriden's time. Given their small numbers then, few would be found outside the Chantry's reach. It's unusual to find one deep in uncharted territory, unless he traveled here for a purpose, as Heron would have.
You don't think the inscription could refer to Emeriden himself?
It's possible, but Emeriden would have been recognized as a leader, which the inscription might have noted out of respect. And a breath in the hunt? Why note that your hunt continues unless your remaining prey was someone important?
She has a point.
What happened here?
An encounter with ancient Avar, and not a friendly one. Emeriden and his companions were outnumbered in an unfamiliar place. If Emeriden's not here, perhaps someone bought him the time needed to keep going?
If this is the resting place of Heron and Dorina, it only remains because the Avar took time to honor them.
Respect for a worthy adversary? It wouldn't be out of place.
What do you know about Heron?
When the Templar Order was first formed, Sir Heron was among its members. He's arguably the most famous of the original Templars, though he was never one of their leaders. He's better known as one of Inquisitor Emeriden's confidants. They'd known each other since youth.
So they were close. Friends.
When Emeriden was made Inquisitor, Heron's position in his inner circle was assumed. A few ballads about them survive. The type with adventures and happy endings. I don't know if they're true. They remind me of my brothers, though.
What can you tell me about Orina?
Orina was an alchemist in Orzammar. It's said she met Emeriden while dealing with a demon, but it's not known why Emeriden was there. Demons aren't common in the deep roads, but they were a problem for the Inquisition at the time. Orina knew she could help, so she joined Emeriden.
If she left Orzammar, that would make her a surfacer.
She turned her back on the stone, though it's said she had few regrets. Some claim she was actually from one of Orzammar's noble families, but who can say? She never used her last name on the surface, and once exiled, the family likely struck her name from personal documents. Professor Kenrick petitioned Orzammar's Shaperit to grant access to their records, but the request was turned down.
What will you do with this information?
Professor Kenrick will expect detailed notes on the location, stone and clay samples, and any trace artifacts I can find. If Emeriden's history is compiled, this could be worth an entire chapter. I might get credit on the inside cover.
I hope you do. You're doing good work.
Thank you, Colette.
Inquisitor.
My dark and stormy is done. Four ounces of rum, just enough to give you a little bit of a buzz. Feels nice. Okay, so that is done. Time to go find Storvaker. Or take these guys out before they find Colette. You know, my biggest fear with the upcoming change in D&D games is that, for whatever reason, the new DM will stress out or just feel unable to go on after a very short time. A very short time that ends up putting us into the early to mid portion of September. And the husband of the last DM isn't going to want to do anything. So everybody will be looking to me because I said, hey, if nobody else wants to do it, then I'll do it. Oh, Zanzibar. Hi, Zanzibar. And if that's the case, well, I mean, I'm going to be in Houston for 2 of the full weekends in September, 1 of the weekends in October, and the PE exam itself is a Friday in October. So there's going to be 2 months there where I cannot spend the effort, because any free energy I have is going to be spent working on the PE stuff.